Hello everyone, and today, as usual, we are discussing the Delphi case, and I have something special for everyone today. First of all, I want to state that anyone accused of a crime is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We're merely speculating here about some things that may be going on based on the evidence and the information we know. As a 27-year journalist myself, what I wanted to do was I wanted to go right to the top. I wanted to go to the person who studies these sorts of cases, and Dr. Katherine Ramsland, for those of you who aren't familiar, is one of the nation's top forensic psychologists, and her list of accomplishments and credentials, before I get into this, are a mile long. She has authored countless books. She earned a bachelor's degree in psychology and philosophy from Northern Arizona University in 1978, a master's in clinical psychology from Duquesne University in 1979, a PhD in philosophy from Rutgers in 1984, a master's degree in forensic psychology from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in 2000, and a master's in criminal justice from DeSales University in 2012, and a master's of fine art recently from DeSales in 2021. Again, she's the cream of the crop when it comes to forensic psychologists in this country. Again, right now she's currently a professor of forensic psychology at DeSales University. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of pick her brain. So I emailed her, and under this context, I simply asked her, what is the difference in her studies between somebody who commits their first murder at a crime scene and subsequent ones, like somebody who's committed 4, 5, 6 murders, and if that changes in any way. And she was kind enough to take time to email me back, and I want a disclaimer here, okay? She's not making any allegation against or for anybody's guilt or innocence having written me back, but I wanted to share what she had to say with everybody because I think it's important in light of all of the information that the defense has brought forth about this investigation and their recent filing. So here's what we've got. Dr. Ramsland said, quote, "I don't do trend or comparative analyses, so I can't answer your question, except to say that the investigation in that case, the Delphi case, is a mess. There will likely be a good case for reasonable doubt. Dr. Ramsland." So I decided to compile for myself a list of things that are reasonable doubt in this case, and the more I dug into it, the more it just alarms me. We all remember them saying early on that citizen journalists and YouTubers, and especially YouTubers who don't have experience or background investigating these things or interviewing people, should kind of try and shy away from the case because they could compromise the investigation. And the more I look back on some of these things, the more I wonder if that hasn't happened already, unfortunately. We have, and I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but I'm just using examples. The information we had from Michael Catt before he passed away on his channel, interviewing, as you can see for yourself, and I posted it on my page before, but a member of the Indiana State Police, asking about DNA and having that person say, well, that's what it looks like, that the person that did this has never committed a crime before, when he was asked if there was DNA. You've got the FBI in their own search warrant probable cause affidavit to search Ron Logan's property, stating that Ron Logan gave investigators a fake alibi. Now, we've since learned that may just because he was on parole or probation, or he didn't want to go to jail for a probation violation. But it was worded strongly enough to where FBI agents thought he might be involved in the crime. We also have, from the prosecution's filing, conflicting eyewitness statements, which can happen. Somebody can misremember something. Even when we go out for a walk, we don't remember everybody we see perfectly when we walk by. We have somebody describing the exact description of Bridge Guy, and we have another eyewitness talking about how she thought she saw a man dressed mostly in all black. Then we have other citizen journalists reporting that Flannel Shirt Guy saw a couple, quote, arguing under the bridge that day. Now, I've never been able to confirm that, but I have confirmed and watched an interview where Becky Patty was allegedly told, according to her, by flannel shirt guy, that there was a couple that he saw under the bridge that day, but he appears nowhere in the prosecution's probable cause for the arrest of Richard Allen. We also have Kagan Klein's former jailmate, who many of you know I have interviewed and spoken with on my page, allegedly stating to his jailmate that him and his father were out there that day. In what capacity, I don't know if that's true. And again, we also know Kagan Klein is the convicted pedophile and a known liar. So, you know, who knows what credibility there is to that. The video of Bridge Guy that Liberty German heroically took doesn't show Bridge Guy's face. We have people who question the forensic ballistics technology that exists. And now we have the defense team alleging Odinists were involved in broad daylight. And we also have the prosecution and Nick McClelland already stating in front of a judge they believe there were, quote, other actors involved in this crime. Furthermore, we've now learned, allegedly from the defense filing, that the sticks that were placed, that were allegedly runes or to send a message to investigators, that were placed on the top of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, were not immediately processed as evidence, which just blows my mind. You have a crime scene that was left, and even though they didn't know it was a crime scene at the time, it was left unsecured overnight from the 13th to the 14th of February 2017. And we have Doug Carter stating there are many tentacles. And something else that I want to mention that disturbed me, I've seen true crime channels and people claiming, and they don't source it, but they're claiming that people or them or people that they know have talked to family members or those close to the family members about what information the defense has brought forth and that they're upset it was brought forth, etc., etc. I would highly caution anyone from trying to interview people who've had gag orders placed on them in this case, which are the family members, which are police officers. And if you are a family member or a police officer, I would also highly caution not to discuss much of this with anybody either if you've been placed under a gag order, because that can be used against them later on. As we've seen, all the as all the defense needs to do in this country because of the OJ case, the Casey Anthony case, is raise reasonable doubt. Is there enough reasonable doubt to where Richard Allen could be a potential double child killer that walks free? Let's hope not, and let's pray that investigators get to the bottom of this. I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not saying anybody's innocent, guilty. I'm sharing my information and input from one of the top forensic psychologists in the world. Thanks for watching, everybody, and let me know what you think.